All right, welcome in. It's a brand new edition of the RSL Show. I'm Alex Napoles. That's Josh Clark. He's Carson Lantz, and we're bringing you the latest and the greatest with Real Salt Lake. Before we dive into a 3-1 loss at home against the Minnesota United Loons, let's talk about and kind of put a bow on the summer transfer window, because a couple moves were made late after we'd recorded, Josh. Including the arrival of DeAndre Yedlin, who now joins Real Salt Lake after a trade with FC Cincinnati. And DeAndre Yedlin comes in and essentially fills in that role at right back that Real Salt Lake really wanted to fill this window.
Yeah, didn't have that on my bingo card.
I definitely did not either.
I've never disliked Yedlin. Maybe when he was at Seattle, I did. But personal preference aside, pretty good signing for a stopgap, right? Very cheap. You basically free with the move of Bodie and Dominic.
Yeah.
I think it's a good move to solidify our extremely Jekyll and Hyde defense we have going on.
Yeah, I think that move absolutely came out of nowhere. As if you're a USA fan, I feel like you've been following Yedlin forever. And now to see him go from Miami to Cincinnati and then now to Utah to play for Real Salt Lake, it's like, whoa, like this guy used to play for Newcastle, like Spurs. But I don't even think about him like that anymore, where I'm just like maybe a couple years ago, I'd be like, whoa, like, yo, we got DeAndre Yedlin. But he's still a good guy to have in the locker room and have around. He has experience. Yeah. And so hopefully he can help turn around the end of the season a little bit. And yeah, that's really about it.
It's always nice to get a guy with World Cup and Premier League experience. I don't know that you can really go wrong there, especially when you have a guy that really shouldn't be playing the position, even though it seems to be his best position starting, and the guy that was supposed to be the next thing failing, right? It definitely an area of need. So I'm happy to see a move was made. I'm happy to see that the Millers are actually working on improving the roster actively.
Yes. I think it's a massive addition when you look at it that way, right? Because there was concerns, and I know we had it on our part. I know there was a lot of concern on social media and online when the Millers had originally taken over, if there was going to be ambition, if there was going to be money put into the squad that to help improve. And I think you do see that with DeAndre Yedlin. He's a big name. He's a recognizable name, and probably the biggest, most recognizable name to come in since Chicho Arango, probably 2 summers ago. He was on an expiring contract when it came to his contract from Cincinnati, and it seemed like, and it sounded like Cincinnati did not want to renew Yedlin. It seemed like they were ready to move on from Yedlin in the upcoming winter window once his contract was up, and so. Smart bit of business for Cincinnati, right? You have a player who's going to expire. You don't want him to walk completely for free as a free agent, and so you make a move this summer to facilitate a move within the league, right? You get a little bit back from it, and now Real Salt Lake can negotiate that new deal with DeAndre Yedlin, of course, if they choose to do so. But it sounds like the agreement's already in place that Yedlin will sign on. To stay with Real Salt Lake.
Was it Yedlin that didn't want to stay in Cincinnati, or Cincinnati didn't want Yedlin to stay?
I think they were both ready to move on. I could be wrong on the Yedlin part, but it does seem like Cincinnati was ready to move on and potentially get younger at that position, which in turn makes sense because a couple hours after the Yedlin move goes through, they do make a move for a young player to kind of replace him and come in at that wingback position that Yedlin was occupying. And it just so happened that player was a part of Real Salt Lake. And of course, we're talking about Dominic Marchik, who's no longer a part of the team. Technically, right, it is a loan, so you still have that potential for him to come back in the winter window. But Dominic Marchik joins Cincinnati on a loan, and in theory, he will take that right wing back spot that Yedlin occupied.
Which is I'm kind of shocked that we never tried it out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, I 100%, 100% agree because right now he's going to go play the right wing back, which Pat Noonan and the way that he utilizes his wing backs is a little bit different than maybe Real Salt Lake uses their wing backs. Um,
Yeah,
just
stylistically, it's definitely a bit different, but I think it could have worked.
I think it
Yeah.
could have worked too, and obviously Cincinnati they've been they've been building teams right. Their scouting department does a good job. And so obviously they must see something there with Dominic that they want to try to bring in and see what he can do.
It's funny about Yedlin. I feel like he leaves teams when they become really good.
Yes. He always seems to be the guy
Ship off.
that gets sacrificed for something else, right?
Wonder why that
Um,
is.
we saw it with Miami. I think you're going to see it with Cincinnati now, not just because of bringing in Dominic, but because they made a lot of other really intriguing moves at the deadline that I think really put Cincinnati in an all-in position this season.
Oh yeah, I think Cincinnati is clearly, they were already a favorite, but they're doing the best they can to compete with what Miami has going on.
100%.
And I think they're better than Miami personally. Sans Messi, right? Like, I don't know.
Well, and I'd rather take a Brenner who now has European experience any day over what you see out of Luis Suarez today, right?
Absolutely.
And that's not a knock because I think Luis Suarez has come in and he's done a decent job in Major League Soccer, but obviously he's aging. Obviously he's getting up there and getting closer and closer to retirement, and so you want a Brenner on your team, right? I'd take a Brenner over Suarez any day.
I mean, I don't know what Miami is going to do when they run out of aging Argentinians, right? I feel like what Miami is trying to pull is old MLS, right? They're bringing in aging stars, not young talent or talent that may have just peaked. They're all old guys that are far beyond their peak. So what Miami's doing is not sustainable for Miami.
No, I
And I think
totally. Yeah.
Cincinnati's doing it the right way. Sorry, Carson.
No, you're all good. I totally agree. I don't think what Miami doing what Miami is doing is going to be sustainable. But at the same time, I do like the route Cincy is taken. And honestly, I think we kind of talked about it on a previous podcast episode where I think Mark we were like, hey, like if someone gets moved, who's going to get moved? And we all kind of pointed the finger at Mark Juk a little bit. I was like, what, his contract's like 700K a year and he hasn't done anything
He
noticeable.
lost a spot to a
Yeah.
17, 18-year-old from Eagle Mountain, for God's sake, right? Like, that's
Yeah.
no discredit to Gozo, but you're playing for the Polish national team and you're a U22 initiative player making boatloads of money.
That just makes Gozo look even better.
100%. 100%.
So, but I mean,
And I'm glad it's alone.
yeah, I hope he succeeds in Cincinnati. Good luck to him. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like we all kind of had high hopes for him with being the replacement of Andres Gomez and hoping to replace what Gomez had. Whether it was goals, assists, or just the on-field contributions. And I'm kind of just a little bit disappointed that he didn't end up being that guy. But now with him leave space for Gozo to shine even more when he gets, yeah.
And it gives us more Johnny Russell time, which I think we can all appreciate.
Oh, 100%.
If Cincinnati do decide to activate the purchase option, right? And there's there is a purchase option involved with this loan, and it would be for a cash trade. Obviously, we don't know the amount at this moment. That's going to be determined if it is activated. And so if Rouse Lake and Cincinnati Rouse Lake decides to move on and Dominic decides to go to Cincinnati and Cincinnati want him, then that opens up that U22 initiative spot. And then at the end of the season, you get back the international spot because part of the loan was that you send Dominic with an international spot because Cincinnati needed one. So you don't have that international spot for the remainder of the year, but now you do have the flexibility of potentially opening up a U22 initiative spot when it comes to next season.
And hopefully about $1 million in cash.
hopefully more.
Yeah, that's like minimum for me.
Yeah, hopefully more. But Bodie Hidalgo, moving on from Real Salt Lake, he gets traded to Montreal. That's another one that I think we expected, and another one that we saw coming. And Montreal makes the trade for Bodie. Bodie moves on to Canada.
Montreal loves our homegrown right backs, man.
Wouldn't be the first one.
Good for him though. He really needed the move. He'd lost fan support. He had lost his place on the team. Clearly didn't look up for it when he did play. I think this move is exactly what Bodie needed. So, good luck. And that's all I got to say about that.
I think it was. I just think it's kind of been a long time coming for Bodie, and he was a natural winger at one point, and couldn't find him a spot on the team at wing, made him an outside back, and he had that spot for a little bit, and then the rise of Caliscan kind of came out of nowhere, and he took that spot from Bodie. I think I would say pretty much with ease. It seems like Caliscan played a couple games there, and Mascheroni had his mind made up, and so. But hey, if he resparks his career in Montreal and starts doing good again, then props to him. But I mean, I won't say I miss him, but I'm glad he homegrown player. He's done what he had to do with us. But I mean, he stepped in at center back sometimes last season. So thanks for. I mean, he's played a lot of positions that he's gone out of position multiple times for us, and I know a lot of players would have a problem with that. And all I got to say is give him props for that, because a lot of pro players would be put out of position they don't want to play, and they
Right.
wouldn't be having it. So thanks for doing that for us last season, and one of our best seasons we've ever had. But good luck in Montreal.
I hope he has a similar trajectory to Aaron Herrera, right? I mean, different circumstances when Herrera left, different circumstances now that Bodie's left. But I hope he's able to find some groove, find some rhythm, and then who knows, maybe in 2 to 3 years, Bodie Hidalgo's an all-star.
We can only hope.
Yeah.
But it's not one that we can look back on and be upset that the move was made.
No, absolutely not.
Right.
It's one that needed to happen.
100%.
Yeah.
It was that, or he was getting released, right? There was nothing coming. So
I'm glad there was a market there for him. I'm glad that Real Salt Lake was able to get something back in return for him. And like Josh mentioned earlier, basically the money that you spent on the GAM money that you spent on bringing in DeAndre Edelin, you make it right back with the potential add-ons that Bodie Hidalgo could have based on performances and based on stuff like that down the line. But essentially, you make that money back with the departure of Bodie Hidalgo. Real quick to wrap up the summer window, right? You bring in on loan Ruan Cruz, you bring in Victor Olatunji, and you bring in DeAndre Edelin. You lose Lachlan Brook, you lose Bodie Hidalgo, you lose Dominic Markchik, and there's something else in there that I feel like I'm missing. But those are probably the three main ones. Oh, Axel Kai gets waived, right? You move on from Axel Kai.
Yeah, whatever.
An overall net positive for me in this window, right? Those are
more than I expected, for sure.
Definitely more than I expected, right? Because I didn't expect 2 strikers to be coming in this window.
High dollar strikers, right?
Yeah.
I could have seen a decently expensive and another Willie Agata, sure. But yeah, I'm happy that they spent some money.
Yeah, I think my favorite signing so far has probably been Victor. Olatunji, is that how you say his name?
Yep.
Oh, there we go. I didn't botch that. To our listeners on Facebook, correct that one for me. Hey.
I'm sure we did botch it somehow, but
we probably did.
Until I hear him say it, we're gonna go with it.
But I'm really satisfied with Victor coming in. I mean, I haven't seen too much of him yet, but I mean, first game at home and he's already scored a goal. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Too bad it wasn't a win, but just if he can keep doing that consistently every game, then I won't complain. Ruan, I'm still trying to wait to see what he can bring, but so far I really like his off the ball movement and how he can move the ball. But that's really about it so far with those guys. But I think I'm just trying to think of the moves we made. Other than that, like guys going away, I don't think any of those moves will impact us too much, so I'm not worried about that.
Net positive, you bring in guys who can be potential game changers, potential real impact players, and you move on from guys that either really needed to move on or just wasn't getting the fields, wasn't seeing, getting enough playing time, and you move on from, you open up international roster spots, right, with with losing Lachlan and moving on from Dominic. Speaking of Lachlan and Dominic, though, real quick before you move on, go back to the window where you lose Andres Gomez. You bring in Lachlan Brooks to replace him. You bring in Dominic Marchuk to replace him. You bring in Diogo Gonçalves to replace him. And now two of your Gomez replacements are no longer a part of this team.
And ostensibly, the worst one is still here.
Yes. but I bring it up more so to point out why Real Lake have been, I guess, much more poor this season than maybe we were used to last season, is because you lose key players and you didn't necessarily replace them with the best production. And that's why you're in the situation that you're in right now.
Yeah, I think the ambition was there with those signings. They just were misses, which is going to happen. Right. It's just unfortunate that all three were misses.
Yes.
And now, yes, I'm still speaking of Diogo as a miss, right? Like, we saw a glimpse. He's still a miss, in my opinion. Like, we would be better off without him. That my mind hasn't changed there. So,
yeah, I mean, Diogo showed promise for like 5 games and has been a ghost ever since. So I can agree with Josh on that one. But I mean, Josh, me and you are both Manchester United fans, so we both know how like failed transfers go. You try to
very comfortable with them.
Yeah. So like, it's nothing new for us here, but that's just a game of soccer. But it all comes down to, scouting, and it really comes down to scouting and just how the player's mentality can change when they go to a new league, because, you can see guys dominate so much in one league and then they come to a new league and all of a sudden they're just like complete different player. They're completely unrecognizable. So I feel like maybe what scouts saw with Lachlan and Markshuk in Europe and Australia, they weren't seeing from them over the MLS, obviously. And I honestly would say the same with Diogo. I mean, he was playing in Champions League soccer for Copenhagen in Denmark, and now like, what's he doing here to make the fans be like, ooh, like, wow, he's nothing.
How many Diogo jerseys do you see at the stadium?
If I see one, I'm going to be a little concerned about that person that watches.
Right, but that's a barometer, right?
DP signing, by the way,
exactly.
0 jerseys.
That's a problem.
How many did Chicho have?
They were all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
The second he was announced, everybody was at the team store getting their Chicho jersey.
I've already seen more Ruan Cruz jerseys than I've seen Diogo jerseys at the game.
You know what? That's a great point. I've seen more Ruan Cruz as well than I ever saw Diogo. I don't think I've ever once seen a Diogo.
I've never seen one. And I know jersey sales, that's a weird thing to bring up, but like, he's your DP.
It matters.
He's the one selling all the shirts.
It matters.
It matters big time.
It matters when he's a DP signing and he's the one that should be. He's the one out there that should have the 8 goals and the however many assists Luna has, right? He should have the same numbers and production as Diego Luna, and he doesn't.
He should have more than Diego Luna.
Yeah. That's the bar. I'm not saying that I'm saying that because that's the bar for DP signings. That is the bar for your designated players, right? We've talked about it.
Be the best player on the field.
Yeah, exactly. We've talked about it multiple times. When you are a designated player and you don't have the right pieces in place as in your DP spots, that usually equates to you struggling in the league, because it's a team that's so driven by DP play, a league that's so driven by U22 initiative play, and that's why Real Lake are in the situation that they're in. I'm not just saying it's solely on Diogo.
No, I think there's bigger issues.
Big contributor. I'm sure that's a big contributor to why you're in the situation that you're in.
It's not helping covering up So your DP not performing is not putting that Band-Aid on your coaching staff's weaknesses.
Yep. We'll jump into that here in a bit, but prior to, there was an interview that was floating around on social media that I think caught a lot of the attention of Real Salt Lake fans, and it certainly caught my attention. There was an outlet in South America that had an interview with Brian Ojeda. Brian Ojeda said in said interview that there is a push and there is a want and there is a need for him to go back to Europe.
Good for him, man.
Great for him, because I think he deserves it. But I think a lot of the interview was taken out of context, especially because it was kind of the quote that was associated with the tweet was a little clickbaity. It was a little clickbaity because if you go back and listen to the whole interview, he talks about his desires to move back to Europe. He talks about his desire, and he's earned it, right? He's come in and he's been one of the best players, if not the best player for Real Salt Lake this season, and he's earned it. But I think a lot of people took it out of context because the way that the tweet was quoted, and he wants out, but it's not in a fed up, I hate this place, get me out of here type situation. It's I want out, but it's because it's the next step in my career.
Yeah, he's ready for a new challenge.
And it's time. Yeah, it's time.
I have no problem with it, right? I wouldn't have been surprised to see him go this window, to be honest.
I thought he would, man.
Yeah, he's a great player. He's one I'm going to be very sad to see go. But it's going to happen, right? He's that type of player. He's still young-ish, and this is his opportunity to go back. If he doesn't go now, who's to say he's ever going to get that chance again? So I completely get it, and I have no issue with it. He's still showing up to games. He's not withholding from training or anything like that. Like he's just letting people know, hey, I'm ready to try the new thing. So sucks, but okay.
As long as he's just professional about it and lets the FO do what they got to do to get him a move there, then I'm totally fine, as long as it stays professional. And because I feel like RSL's done a lot for him to help rejuvenate his career. And so I think the best thing he can do for us is just be patient and give it time, and they'll get him a move.
The most of the reaction I saw online, of course, was worry that he was upset, that he was unsettled, that he was trying to force his way out. But I think there should be some solace in the Real Salt Lake fan base that it's not anything to that nature. It's just him saying, I'm ready to go back to Europe, because he is 25. He just turned 25. And this is the prime age. This is the prime time for you to make that move, because the longer you wait, the less and less that window is open for you. And so, yeah, I think Ojeda just wants to move on and try it again over in Europe, because it didn't work out with Nottingham. But who's to say, right? He can't be a successful player in the championship or even at the Premier League level. But he's 25, and so that window is limited for him.
Yes, sir. It's closing fast, honestly.
Yep. Real Salt Lake, Minnesota. A must-win for Real Salt Lake, in my opinion. Right, you're at home. You're taking on the second best team in the Western Conference. It's a must-win.
Yep.
Real Salt Lake comes out with Rafa Cabral in goal. DeAndre Edlin getting his first run, starting and going a full 90. Justin Glad, Brian Vera, Sam Junka, Johnny Russell, Emeka Nelly, Noel Caliscan in the midfield with Diogo Gonçalves, Ruan Cruz, and Victor Ulatunji. That's your starting 11 for Real Salt Lake heading into this game. Some head-scratching decisions, Josh.
Yep.
The most glaring one, of course, Noel Caliscan.
Bro. Why? Why?
I'm right there with you, man.
Honestly, why?
I'm right there with you.
from Pablo's mouth because he's a good communicator? You've
Yeah.
got to be kidding me, bro.
Yes. The comment that Josh is referring to there's a comment that was made by Mastroeni in the postgame press conference about why he started this game, right? When you have a Pablo Ruiz and a Brian Ojeda in the midfield on the bench. Hard work and good communicator. That was the reasoning.
Well,
That was the reasoning he gave for Noel Kalaskan starting this game.
well, that decision absolutely lost us this game.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that communication went a long way in him getting completely overloaded in that midfield and trailing every run and going to ground for no reason multiple times, two of which, led to goals. Why? It's ridiculous, dude. That's a ridiculous boneheaded move in my opinion.
I think it's a boneheaded move, and also that's the out of all the reasons you could give us, you say, oh yeah, sorry, he communicates well, that's why he started. I'm like, okay, Pablo Ruiz and Brian Ojeda don't communicate well,
with Emeka and Ellie, who, the three of them have been, two of them were the best midfield tandem in Major League Soccer last year, and one of them is, resurrecting his career and playing out of his mind since coming back from injury. What are we doing?
Yeah,
what are we doing?
That's freaking ridiculous. And look, Kalaskan's been great all season at right back. And so why are you forcing this move to him in midfield all of a sudden when he's been performing at right back? That's what doesn't make sense to me.
What makes even less sense, sorry, Alex, what makes even less sense is the fact that he went the full 90. That was a glaring issue the entire game. Ojeda and Ruiz come into the game, and he's still on the field.
Why did Pablo Ruiz sub in at the right wing position?
What are we doing? Well, we had no one on the bench.
You have Tyler Wolff.
He's clearly not ever going to play a game again.
A guy who's played wing his entire career.
Let's put our left-footed defensive midfielder in at right wing and rotate with Brian Ojeda. That makes sense.
Yeah, that one was a head scratcher.
Bro, we deserved this result because of those.
Oh no, we 100%. 100%. There was clearly an overload in the midfield that Noel Kalaskan couldn't handle. And yet no adjustments were made.
Nothing.
For that.
Ramsey was just licking his lips when he saw that lineup come out.
Yeah.
You've got to be kidding me, man. What are we doing? This is a must-win game. You are in a race for the playoffs. Do you not want a contract extension? Do you want to get fired? Because that's what you are acting like. It
also doesn't help at all that Kalaskan and Gonçalves are on the same sideline or on the same wing. Right? They're both covering the left side of the midfield. And right after the own goal, Diogo completely stops tracking back.
Yeah, he gave up immediately.
Which again, going back to your DP conversation, what does it say about your designated player that the second you concede an own goal, he gives up?
He completely turns off. That 15, 20 minutes we had where we scored and probably played some of the prettiest attacking soccer we've played, Diogo really wasn't part of it.
No, Diogo was centrally. He had tucked in centrally to try to find the ball, which is fine, But that was mostly Junca and Cruz coming out wide.
Yeah, 100%. I'm telling you, bro. I've been really, really hesitant on being hard on the coaching staff. I don't know how much more I can take, bro. It's ridiculous. This team is too talented to be set up and perform this badly.
I will give the coaching staff credit for I'll give him half a point. This is a 0.5 credit because you do recognize that Diogo has completely taken himself out of the game, and so you sub him at the halftime. That's fine. That's a good move.
That is fine. That's totally fine. But honestly, he shouldn't even be starting.
That's a good move. You got to pull him.
He's done nothing to show that he deserves to be playing.
But why do you pull him for Ari Peel?
No idea. A guy who also looks completely lost on the field.
It would make more sense to me in this case to sub in Ruiz and play that left wing.
100%. At least he has a left foot.
Why are we subbing in Ari Pule? No,
Bro.
I want to love Ari Pule. Don't get me
I
wrong.
do too, but he's not ready.
I want to like him, but he's not. He's nowhere near ready.
He's not a winger. I don't know what the heck they think that he's a winger. Like he's
There's
fast.
Brian Ojeda.
Oh,
And the
He's
explanation that was given in the post-game press conference was because essentially they were playing with 3 strikers at that point,
oh, jeez.
which also doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, watch when Agata comes back. We're gonna see a 4 strikers up top at one point.
Might as well.
He was when Ari Pule came into the game. Pablo Mastroeni said in the post-game press conference that he was basically asked to stay high as a 3rd striker, and that Sam Junko would push up and he would be the left midfielder.
Because, we weren't already getting absolutely decimated through the center of the park, so let's put another body up top who isn't getting service. Yeah, makes sense. Bro,
that
I
explanation also didn't make any sense to me.
I'm over it, bro. I'm over it. We're pushing for the playoffs. We needed those 3 points. And that's what we got? Are you kidding me?
It's also extremely concerning that the fact the second they come out early in the second half, they score early in the second half, and from there the team looks dejected. The team looks, there's a lack of urgency.
Yeah, the wheels absolutely fell off.
There was no part of me that felt confident that they would be able to pull this one back.
None. Zero.
Because the way, you could see it in the body language. You can see it in the way that the team was pressing for the ball and pressuring the opponent. They looked completely dejected and uninterested to be there at that point.
Well, half of them are trying to figure out where they're supposed to be on the field the entire time. You know what I mean? Like, how do you expect a team to really push for a result if they're going, oh, I'm actually playing on the right, not where I normally play and I'm used to playing? You know what I mean? It just doesn't, bro.
Which brings me to another point.
I'm fully crashing out over here, bro.
Brings me to another point. We have to stop being the bad guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We have to stop with this yellow card accumulation nonsense.
It's killing us, bro.
Because one of the reasons why you're forced to play Pablo Ruiz on the wing, one of the reasons why you're forced to play Ari Pule on the wing, is because you have no other option.
Right.
Tyler Wolff could have came in, but the reality is, what is Tyler Wolff actually going to bring you?
As much as Diogo brings you, probably a little more hustle.
What I mean is, and what I'm saying is, stop getting suspended.
I know.
Yeah.
My bigger issue, though. Sorry, I'll finish off in a second, Carson. My bigger issue. Yes, the accumulations suck, and it sucks that guys are suspended. It still doesn't make it okay that Noel Caliscan stayed on the field for 90 minutes.
Yes.
At the central midfield position. Like, that's unforgivable.
Do you remember how excited we were when we saw Pablo Ruiz running over to the bench to get his instructions?
Yeah, I was like, thank God. Here we go.
And we were like,
that board went up, bro. I almost left the stadium.
I know.
Alex had to talk me out of leaving.
Oh, man.
And then when Ojeda came over, and I was like, oh, finally, here we go. Again, no.
Carson, save us.
Oh my gosh. I think we need to stop playing this like fake tough guy mentality on the field. That's costing us yellow cards. But like Gozo is like, he's not like purposely like getting yellow cards. Like, he's just kind of like accumulated enough yellow cards over the long season that
he's also had a bite to him.
Okay, and then Gozo needs to stop too.
Like, I appreciate the chili, right? I appreciate the spice. I appreciate you kind of getting in there and as an 18-year-old playing against, professionals, you kind of have to do that at some point. But you also have to walk that line of knowing when to tone it down, and I feel like Gozo hasn't toned it down. Remember the Sporting Kansas City game?
No. That feels like eternity ago, bro.
Against Sporting Kansas City, right? He got the yellow card, but he still kept the chippiness, and he still kept going at players, and trying to catch that reaction, trying to get the reactions.
Right. So here's my point. The Gozo yellow card accumulation bothers me way less than the Luna.
Yes.
Because Gozo is just playing hard. He's going in 1v1 and stuff's going to happen, right? I don't want Gozo to lose that bite because that's what's making him successful. Luna's getting yellow cards for running his mouth. It's different. Running his mouth or doing something off the ball or after the play that isn't cool, right? Red card against New York aside, that was ridiculous. Whatever. But leading up, different kinds of yellow. Yellow for attitude, yellow for playing hard. Right? None of us were ever that annoyed at Kyle Beckerman for his red cards because he's playing hard and he's doing what he needs to do, right? It's entirely different.
There's a difference between passion and how would I describe it?
Frustration.
Yeah. Like if you're gonna get a card, do it.
Earn it.
Yeah, do it for the badge. Don't do it because
Right.
you're pissed off at the ref.
Right. Earn it. Earn it, bro.
Like that's like I feel like growing up playing soccer and like competitively and like all of this, I feel like one of the first things I learned was don't get a card. Like right when I got into high school, don't get stupid cards. And the example was don't run your mouth to the ref and get yourself a card. It's the dumbest way you can get a card. But who's doing anything about it? Huh? Like is the coaching staff like telling Luna to pipe down a little bit? Or who's telling him to like who's pulling the strings over here? Are we just letting Luna run wild because he's our star
He's the
boy
golden boy.
and marketing project, or what's going on? Like
Don't know, man. Don't know.
Speaking of dumb fouls,
I loved this one though, bro. I loved it. I loved everything about it.
which one are you talking about? Because there was a couple, Josh.
There's one in particular that probably the best one of the night.
Oh,
Towards the end of the game.
I know which one you're talking about. I just can't remember who did it.
I mean, he's also now suspended for yellow card
Oh,
accumulation.
yeah, that's right. Yedlin.
Yep.
Yedlin coming over and absolutely just D-lining a guy.
I love it. Like, that's what I mean. Earn it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're going to earn that yellow, make it fun.
Yes. That's not the dumb foul I'm talking about, though.
Okay, which one are you talking about?
The dumb fouls that I'm talking about are the ones that we've consistently seen over the course of the last couple of weeks that have led directly to Real Salt Lake conceding goals. And that's Justin Glad.
Yeah, dude, that's another combo.
What is up with Justin Glad right now, bro?
He needs to see the bench for a minute.
Like,
He really does.
I mean, we've talked about it multiple times on this show, right? It's not the same Justin Glad that got the All-Star nod last season. It's not. He's far from it. But it's been significantly worse over the course of the last couple of weeks. Overcommitting, making these easy, terrible fouls that lead directly to penalties, that lead directly to goals, that lead directly to Real Salt Lake conceding.
They're always in a very dangerous position, man, a very dangerous spot.
You have the Choupo-Moting one to end the game, right? That gave Choupo-Moting the game-winning penalty. You have the one last week that was so unnecessary. There was no danger coming from Charlotte. You didn't have to make that challenge, but you made it, and it led directly to their goal.
Yeah, man. I don't know what's going on.
Justin Glad looks like Justin Sad.
Oh, hey-o. The defense right now. Okay, he is a leader on the defense, right? He is the leader on the defense. And when your leader is having that bad of performances, it shows across the entire back line.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't help, of course, when your other defender scores an own goal. There is a big defensive issue right now with Real Salt Lake, and I think it starts with Justin Glad. And you see it across the entire back line.
I can't disagree, man.
And it also doesn't help that the guy who's been in Utah for less than 48 hours goes a full 90.
Okay. If you really want to play Caliscan, brother, play him there. I don't understand. I don't get it. I'm over it, bro. Like, it's time for a change in Salt Lake. New ownership, new players, new start, bro. I feel like the Ted Lasso positivity stuff, like, it's run its course. It's not working anymore, bro. It's not working. I don't care if we sneak in the playoffs. That's not good enough. That shouldn't be the bar. Finishing 9th, 8th, 9th place? Come on, really? That's the bar? I'm over it, bro.
Where is the bar though now? Because apparently the bar is making the playoffs.
That's been the bar forever, and it's since 2013. I feel like that's been the bar, and I'm over it, dude.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I even posted that out on X too. I was like, I remember he just said the bar was making the playoffs, and I was like, really? Like, after the season we had last season, the bar is making the playoffs.
Right, the bar should be 4th place.
We're never gonna freaking win a trophy again if the bar is just making the playoffs every year.
Well, so we're just gonna hope for another Cinderella run, right?
It's
like, come on, we've had our Cinderella run. The odds of that happening again are so low. And then your bar is that low, and that's the product you put on the field? Come on. What are we doing?
The bar's got to be like, okay, top 3 in the West, maybe top 4 in the West, and then competing with the top guys in the MLS, and then take it into the playoffs. And if you can have a team that consistently can be top 3, then you need to start being like championships. Okay, bar needs to be championships, semifinals, but the bar cannot just be like, all right, playoffs and knock down in the first round. That's okay with us.
We did good. I don't know. The bar could also be stop losing at home.
That could be a good bar too, because we used to be one of the best teams at home, and now we're not. We're not the Riot anymore. We're not the Riot anymore.
No, it's abysmal, bro. I'm over it.
It's interesting because in years past, right, you had guys like Marcelo Silva, guys like Damir Krylak, who would get up in front of the media, get in front of the podium, and say, no, top 4 finish.
Right. That fire doesn't seem to be there.
Top 4 finish is the bar. Even heard it from the coaching staff, and they would say top 4 finish is the bar.
Listen,
I get you're in a situation now where you're very much below that bar, but don't change the bar.
The bar, during the Deloy era, when all we're getting in is free transfers and trash because ownership isn't spending money, playoffs, sure, that's great. We don't have that excuse anymore, bro. This team has talent. You know how many coaches across the league would be happy to have 90% of our players? This team has talent. The bar needs to be higher than squeaking into the playoffs.
I think the good thing, we've talked a lot about the negatives from this Minnesota game, but now we'll switch the tone a little bit, and we'll let's focus on some of the positives. The good thing is that you do have the pieces in place to be successful next season. Victor Olatunji, oh man, I am so excited for this guy. I'm so happy he's here because he looks the part. He's played 2 games with Real Salt Lake, and he's looked the part.
Even Ruan Cruz looks the part, bro.
Ruan Cruz, Josh, I told you about this up in the box, man. I love his awareness. His field awareness is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not afraid to get down and dirty with it. He'll track back, he'll win a ball, and then he'll create the attack himself. He's in the right place at the right time. How many crosses were in the direction of Ruan Cruz this past game? And he was just off by an inch.
Many.
But that's what I'm talking about with the awareness is he's in the right spaces and the right spots at the right time. And once you get some guys on the same page, right? Once you get Johnny Russell on the same page as him, sending in those crosses, that could be a very great combo.
Or Gozo and Luna.
Or Gozo and Luna, exactly.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to ask Diogo to do it because it's not going to happen. But
okay, but look, we said we were going to be more positive, though. Cool, you have 2 strikers over 6'2", but like, can we show a little bit like of creativity though, and like not just spam crosses the whole time? You know, when you're on FIFA and you're just spamming X, 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 X. That's what it looked like.
Right, but let's say, I don't know, Pablo Ruiz was in the midfield where he should have been. We're not spamming crosses because we're more than one-dimensional when that happens. Right? Again, it's the setup. They're not set up to succeed. Sorry about it, front office, coaching staff, Trey. Sorry about it. This product isn't acceptable.
It's not.
And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I know at least 80% of the fans would agree. Right? We're not just making this up. We're not the only ones with these feelings.
I think it's great that you made the moves you did this window.
I love those. I'm honestly not upset at the front office at all.
Yeah. And I think it's great that you have the pieces in place now to find success. I think it's just too little too late this season.
Yeah, 100%. Right? It was unfortunate how the beginning of the year started, right? With the ownership change. Started on the wrong foot.
Yeah.
But even then, some of those games we lost, unacceptable losses. If we didn't have Rafa Cabral in goal for the first, 6 games,
what'd you say?
We're getting absolutely pumped, bro.
How'd you say it?
Rafael Cabral.
No, I think you said it right the first time.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, man. I agree. But I guess, make the playoffs this year or don't, whatever you do. But I think there's some positive and some optimism for the future of next year, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Depending on how we're going into next year. And I can already kind of foresee the 3 needs in the winter window.
I see him too.
Unless someone else comes in and gets Diogo performing.
I mean, he's already had a year to...
He's had a year, but maybe Pablo's not the guy to get him to perform.
Oh, okay, I get you. I see what you
mean.
You know
what I mean?
I see what you mean.
But you got to replace Luna. I can almost guarantee that. And it's time to bring in a center back that's better than every center back we have on the roster now.
Yeah.
It's absolutely time.
Honestly,
we need a guy to compete with Glad, like straight up. Like Glad needs to be pushed.
Philip Quinton is competing with Glad right now.
We've been saying this for a while now, but I think I think it's probably fine if you move on from both Vera and Glad this winter.
Was hoping it would be Kobe Henry by now competing with Glad, but I mean, who knows what's going on there,
But genuinely, the fact that I'm sitting here saying Philip Quinton should be starting the next game versus Justin Glad, that is a problem.
I think right now our best defensive line is DeAndre Edlin, Philip Quinton, Sam Junka centrally, and Catranis out left.
That's wild.
That's probably your best back line right now.
That would be like us a couple years ago saying our best back line is like Reagan Dunk, friggin' Eric Holt.
No. Reagan Dunk or Philip Quinton is way better than Reagan Dunk.
But you know what I'm saying? Like that's their spots on the roster.
Oh yeah, I get you.
Your 3-4 guys are who you kind of want to see right now because 1 and 2 aren't doing it. Although Vera's free kick was a beauty.
It was, and it's unfortunate that St. Clair got a hand on it and forced it onto the post. That would have
St.
been
Clair, to Minnesota's credit, like we did create. St. Clair played out of his mind.
especially especially
In the
right
first
after
half.
conceding,
Mm-hmm.
right? Especially right after you score that own goal. Real, I will give him that credit. Real Salt did look great going forward, and it looked like we had a couple of really nice opportunities. But St. Clair played a good game,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just unfortunate that Olatunji and Rowan Cruz just weren't as clinical as we probably wanted them to be.
Right. The Olatunji shot from outside the 18 as well, though.
Oh man, see again, that just makes me excited because
No, I'm definitely excited about the
the
players on this team.
yes, the pieces are there for success.
But can the puzzle be put together correctly?
Oh man, here we go again. Talking about the puzzle. I still think you're missing a big piece of that puzzle, and that's your DP play.
Oh, 100%. But this
Yeah.
team right now could get by without it if set up correctly. And I think setting that up correctly is obviously not having Noel Caliscan in the midfield. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm not going to let that go.
No,
If you want to bring him in at the end of the game, let him sub, whatever. And then I think
start him at right back.
right.
Why are we forcing Yedlin to go a full 48 or go on a full 90 after arriving 48 hours before?
And he clearly didn't look very comfortable in the system yet either, right?
No.
Like he had some shockers. Fully expect that for a guy trying to integrate into a team. But I think, outside of not playing him in the midfield, I think you need to bench Diogo again, man. Especially when Gozo and Luna are back. There are better players performing and creating more than Diogo.
Yeah.
Take Diogo out. I don't care that he's your DP. You're not going to get anything for him anyway.
I think for the rest of the season, I would love to see Ruan Cruz and Olatunji lead the line, no matter what.
Yep. And then Luna and Gomez supporting.
Yep. With Ojeda and Ruiz in the midfield, and Anelli, not Noel Caliscan.
Yep.
Yep.
And we probably score a lot more goals. And we look a lot better in the midfield.
I just want to see some younger faces around. I feel like there's definitely some room for some younger guys to come in and
that would have been
a difference.
Prime opportunity for Aiden.
Yeah. We have Omar Marquez too. We have a lot of young guys that are performing for the Monarchs that I feel like deserve.
Griffin Dillon, man.
Griffin Dillon. I'm surprised. Yeah, he has been probably the most consistent player for the Monarchs the last 2 to 3 years. It has seen like the field for RSL, I think maybe once or twice.
I can't think of a single instance.
What is yeah, maybe not even at all, and I'm tripping. But like, what does that say about to kids who are coming to Real Salt Lake to develop and maybe make it into the first team? Griffin Dillon went through the academy. He's a Utah kid. I think he's from Draper. And he went to play for Maryland, succeeded at Maryland, then left college his sophomore, junior year to sign for the Monarchs, and hasn't been given an opportunity at all with the first team, when at the beginning of the season, he was listed as a potential right back for the first team. Noel Caliscan was not on there. Okay, I want to point that out. But I like a guy like Griffin Dillon, when we were low on midfielders, and I know like the MLS Next Pro and the MLS have like these weird restrictions when moving players back and forth. But like, I don't feel like doesn't say anything good to RSL in a whole when you got a guy like Griffin Dillon who's been consistently playing for the Monarchs and playing good, who could potentially get a spot and doesn't. Because Noel Caliscan went in there for a year and then all of a sudden, boom, first team player.
But also, what does it say when they're not getting on the bench? When you have a guy like Wolf on the bench who we know is not coming in.
Yeah.
Griffin Dillon has yet to make his RSL debut.
Yep.
Just had to look that up.
That's disappointing.
Give them a shot at this point, man. Like, what are we doing?
And that's kind of why. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I would like to be. If Real Salt isn't going to make the playoffs,
Play your kids, bro.
if they're not going to make the playoffs, I'd rather them be eliminated sooner rather than later. For that very reason, Let them play Griffin Dillon. Let them play Aiden. Let them play whomever. Once you know that you're not going to be able to make it to the playoffs. I love Pablo's, sentiment of we're going to fight until the very last second if we have to. That's great. But if you get eliminated a little bit earlier than you want to, make sure to use that time to develop.
And to be honest, I would not like to see Agata or Pio on the field. Send Pio down to Monarchs, let him play, and bring Zambrano up, because Zambrano's only played 4 games with the Monarchs, and he's looked better than Pio and Agata has all season. So.
We already know what we're getting out of Pio and Agata. There's no reason to put them on the field again. Try something new.
Real Salt now will be off for the next 3 weeks. They were supposed to play a game on Saturday. Obviously, that one gets rescheduled because of Seattle's involvement in Leagues Cup and them advancing in Leagues Cup. So that one gets moved to October 11th, which means that now Real Salt Lake don't have a game next Saturday, don't have a game the Saturday following, and will return to action against Sporting Kansas City on Saturday, September 13th. So essentially, you get the next 3 weeks off you get the next 2 weeks off to prepare, and then you get the week to get ready for Sporting Kansas City, right? And I think that this is an opportunity for them to have a preseason in-season, man.
I hope they spend an entire week doing set pieces.
Have a full training, just figuring it out and getting it right. You don't have to play again until the 13th when you take on Sporting Kansas City. So that should be enough time to hopefully get, help Victor Olatunji integrate a little bit more, help Ruan Cruz integrate a little bit more, and then, of course, help DeAndre Edlin integrate a little bit more. Plus, DeAndre unavailable for Sporting Kansas City now. So
keeps getting worse.
Real Salt off for the next 3 weeks, and so I think that we will take that time with them as well. We'll jump back on here and get you ready for that game against Sporting Kansas City the week of. But anything else that you guys want to add, anything else you guys want to talk about or wrap, or anything else you want to add in here before we wrap this one up?
Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Robinson, young fan we met on Saturday. It's good to meet you, dude.
There you go.
Thanks for listening, man.
Shout out Robinson. Shout out at MLS Collectors.
I don't got much to say. I'm kind of really disappointed about the long break, but
it sucks that we have to now sit here and sit on this tough performance against Minnesota for the next 3 weeks,
and then come out of it in an absolute must-win
at home against Sporting Kansas City. Man,
it's gonna be tough.
But hey, if there's any game that's going to reignite the rivalry, could be that one.
Could be
that one. We got a little bit from Gozo last time. But we'll see,
man. We'll see.
We'll see. That's going to do it for us here on the RSL Show. Don't forget to go like. Don't forget to go subscribe. Don't forget to go follow. Don't forget to go do what you have to do to follow the RSL Show for the best RSL content. We'll take the break, and we'll talk to you guys as we get closer to that Sporting Kansas City game.